everyone, this is Mary Blue Angel, and today I am playing Moth to a Matchstick. This is a visual novel entry from the Once Upon a Time Visual Novel Jam of 2023, so last year, as well as the Winter Visual Novel Game Jam of 2023. And I was very intrigued by this visual novel because of the art as well as the synopsis. And since it's based loosely on the Little Match Girl fairy tale, which I realized I had never even heard of before, and one of my siblings told me about it, and I now know a little bit more about maybe what might go on in Moth to a Matchstick. So we'll see, though the game dev does note that fairy tale is like the certain aspects of the fairy tale were incorporated in some way into this story. And honestly, I don't really know what to expect because even though I now know what the fairy tale is about, I still don't know exactly what's happening. So that's okay, but it looks very nice. I do like the title page. I like that this person's just like looking at this matchstick on fire, very like, I would say longingly, or like, I don't know, yeah, like maybe like lost in thought type of a thing. So without further ado, let's just get into it. My name will be Blue. A log cabin stands cold and desolate, nestled among the skeletal trees of a barren landscape. Its time-worn walls are barely visible underneath a thick blanket of snow, as if nature itself is attempting to erase the structure from existence. I like the lighting a lot. Like, I like the background. It's fun. There's like soup overboiling, I think, on the stove. I also really like this UI. It's so pretty. It's a nice contrast to like the background. So I want to see how that will also fare through the rest of the visual novel. It's fitting for your situation. Inside, the air is frigid. You shiver, your breath visible as fleeting clouds of mist. You rub your hands together for warmth before moving about the room, your feet dragging on the cold floor as you begin your daily ritual. Oh no, you're so cold. You wrap yourself in a warm blanket and trudge towards the fireplace. A meager pile of logs rests nearby, a testament to the many lonely nights spent within these walls. I need more firewood. Making a mental note to restock, you turn your attention to other matters. As unappealing as food sounds right now, you know that you need to get at least something in your stomach. You had enough weighing on you. Malnourishment didn't need to be added to the mix. With practiced hands, you prepare a simple stew over the weak flames, the paltry bits of dried veggies and meat offering little flavor or fulfillment. The scent of the cooking food mingles with the musty odor of damp wood, creating a familiar yet oppressively suffocating atmosphere. This routine, it's all you have left. This sucks. As you stir the bubbling pot, a look of resignation crosses your face. The doctor said you didn't have much longer, and it wasn't hard to see how accurate their predictions were when you looked in the mirror. You know that each passing day brings you closer to the end, yet you continue, trapped in your own isolation. Isolation that you chose. Gazing out the frost-covered window, you can see snowflakes drifting from the heavy gray sky. Your eyes, once sparkling with life, now stare ahead, dull and empty. But as lonely as it was, this was for the best. You didn't want your family and friends to see you like this, so weak, so pathetic. And so, one night you packed a bag and left, running off to an old family cabin that you alone had access to. It was far away enough and obscure enough to make sure no one could track you down, at least not easily. Anyone else who did know of its connection to you had passed, and soon you would follow suit. It was fitting, in a macabre sort of way. You move away from the window and begin to tidy up the cabin, your actions slow and detached. Each movement feels like a chore. weighed down by a crushing loneliness that has become your constant companion. Yes, you had chosen this life, but that didn't mean you had to like it. You can't even remember why you keep doing this. Why bother maintaining the upkeep of a place you'd come to die in? As you sweep the floor, your thoughts turn inward, reflecting on the life you had left behind and the decisions that brought you to this desolate place. Okay, we're reflecting. An all too familiar inkling of doubt wriggles into your mind, one that urges you to just give in and go back to the warmth of those who couldn't even bear to face you when you received the diagnosis. It was so tempting, so easy, and your desperate heart fluttered in your chest like a moth drawn to a flame. But then, you remember your grandmother, how she had looked in her final years as she lay in her deathbed, and how the sinking pit you felt in your stomach as you watched her slowly loosen her grip on life grew into a vow that you would never inflict the same pain on someone else. Okay, so this is our main character's motivation for running away and isolating themselves. They don't want to repeat stuff that's happened, or like also inflict those feelings they gained from their grandmother passing. Okay, so that makes sense. But why? I mean, like, I guess the cabin. I mean, I guess, yes, it is a winter game jam, but like, I was like, why in the cold? But it's fine, whatever. We'll figure it out. Even if that meant that you need to hurt them in other ways. Make the few people I care about watch me turn into this, or run away and just live waiting to die. Why does it feel like no matter what I choose, I lose either way? Your hands tremble slightly as you grip the broom handle tighter, attempting to hold back the tears that had threatened to spill over. You carry on with your chores, each task completed with the bare minimum amount of effort. Oh, the buzz of a dying old alarm shocks you from your moping. Dinner's ready. You ladle a humble portion of the watery stew into a small bowl and take a seat at an empty table. As you eat, you listen to the wind outside. The icy gust howls, filling the silence. An old window creaks and bends on its rusty hinges, threatening to burst open at any moment. You gather up your dishes and ignore it. I guess it's time to put things in order. Although you had stayed here for quite some time already, you never bothered to fully unpack. You figured that you wouldn't need to, given how little you had left. The little time you had left, setting down your roots seemed pointless. However, boredom had driven you to look for anything to keep yourself occupied in the meantime, and so cleaning and unpacking the old family cabin had become your 9 to 5. Opening an unmarked cardboard box, you begin to sort through your belongings, organizing books and baubles meticulously. Your movements are slow and lethargic, weighed down by fatigue. At least when you're gone, no one will have to clean up after you. As you fold your clothes and arrange your meager possessions, you can't help but reminisce. With each knick-knack you put away, a new memory resurfaces. Awkward college parties, sleepless nights spent studying, impromptu hospital visits brought on by you and your friends' stupid 2 a.m. stunts. You pause for a moment, staring at an old Polaroid of happier times you had absent-mindedly picked up, a bitter taste filling your mouth as it fully sinks in that you can never truly go back to those times, no matter whether you stay or leave this cabin. You shake your head and swallow hard, setting the photo aside with a heavy heart. This is for the best. There's nothing left for me back there. You've become a stranger in your own life, an empty husk going through the motions, disconnected from the world around you. With your daily chores completed, you sink into a chair, your exhaustion evident in every line of your weary face and the slick sheen of sweat on your sallow skin. Congratulations, Blue. You've done the bare minimum. Hooray. You talk to the empty air, donning a fake smile and throwing your hands up in the air. Your voice is laced with a mocking sarcasm, the bitterness in your mouth now rolling off of your tongue as you rant to an audience of one. You should feel so proud of yourself, Blue. At least you'll die in a chic aesthetic cottage. Now all you need are some freshly fallen snow-scented candles to mask the scent of sickness. Now that's what I call a happy holiday getaway. Huh. You stop, finally losing your breath, and snap out of your hysteria. Without all the yelling and thrashing, you're left to catch your breath in a numb silence. I wasn't yelling in those last lines, so that's okay. Was this what you... Is this really what you'd become? Finally, you allow yourself to crack and feel the full extent of your loss of hope, your eyes filling with unshed tears. It seems that no matter how much you insist to yourself that you've accepted your fate, a part of you can always tell that you're lying. After all, how could you expect someone to just lay down and accept that they're going to die? Could wind howls outside the log cabin, the only sound accompanying you as you sit in silence for what feels like hours? I read cold as could. Cold wind howls outside the log cabin, the only sound accompanying you as you sit in silence for what feels like hours. The creaking window's frame has begun to shift ever so slightly, allowing the cold to sneak in and chill you to the bone. You shiver involuntarily as you wrap yourself tighter in a threadbare blanket. It's never been this bad before. You glance around your desolate surroundings, the dimly lit room casting eerie shadows on the walls. The once roaring fire in the hearth has been reduced to smoldering embers, barely providing any warmth. I really need to get more firewood. What's the point? The window panel falls ajar as powdery speckles of snow flutter through their growing opening. As you sit there, your thoughts drift to memories of laughter and conversation in a similar setting, albeit cozier. Your traitor's heart gives you another pang, and before you can bite down and swallow your sentimental urges, a confession falls from your lips. I wish someone was here with me. It almost felt selfish to say. Thick tears blur your vision as you stare into the dying fire, the flickering light reflecting the loneliness etched on your face. Okay, I haven't had much commentary because this is a lot. I like it so far. I will say, obviously our main character here has kind of escaped from the life that the people that they know, the people that love them, in this attempt to like save them from the heartache that they experienced when they were younger, when their grandmother died. Which understandably I can see why you would do that. I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't know. This is like, I don't know exactly what I would do if I was put in this situation, and I hope I'm never put in this situation, obviously. I hope no one's ever put in this situation. But, what was I trying to say? I don't think it's selfish to want to be connected to other people. This is a very hard part. Like, you know that you're dying. I think it makes sense that you'd want to be with other people, connected to other people. Again, we are human. And we really do crave that social connection. So, it's not selfish. And I just, like, kind of don't understand in the sense that, like, yes, we're in the cabin in the woods because our family owns this, and you are the only one who has access to this cabin. But, like, you might die first from, like, the cold. It's too cold in your cabin before you die from your illness, which, like, I could see maybe this person's trying to, like, you know, take that chance because maybe they think it's more merciful. I don't know exactly what's happening in terms of, like, the type of illness and things, but I don't know. Whatever. Getting back to this wish of someone being here, we will have to see what happens because, you know, again, that's not selfish, but we'll see. We'll see how the story progresses. Even just for one last goodbye. If I can click on my... Okay. A sudden gust of wind finally blows open the window, snapping you from your pitying thoughts as flurry of snow shoots into the room, killing the last remains of your fire. You rise from your chair, wincing at the cold air biting your skin. I get it. I'll close the stupid window. As you reach for the latch, you pause for a moment, gazing out into the vast barren landscape. The endless expanse of snow and ice feels to you like a cruel reflection of yourself. I really am pathetic, aren't I? Turning away, you reach into a nearby drawer with a sigh, rummaging for something to reignite the hearth. Your fingers brush against something flimsy, and your curiosity is piqued as you pull out an old container of matchsticks. The box is covered in dust. Its once vibrant colors have faded with time, but it looks surprisingly intricate for such a basic household necessity. Where did these come from? I could have sworn there was nothing in here when I cleaned out this drawer yesterday. You take a closer look at the matches. They look old. Really old. Old enough that they'd probably crumble away if you held them too tightly. Oh, I get being prepared, but this looks so old, it's probably more of a fire hazard than an emergency tool. How did I miss these? Intrigued, you open the box and find a handful of matchsticks inside. You run your fingers over the coarse tips, eyeing the still dead hearth behind you. It's probably best to leave these be, but I'm really cold. You pause. On second thought, what if I catch on fire or something? These things are shedding everywhere. Your fingers tremble slightly as you pick up a matchstick. Examining it, your uncertainty growing with each passing moment. You stare at the small wooden stick, weighing the potential consequences in your mind. Well, there's no harm in trying, right? You grimace as you walk to stand over the fireplace. At least, not much harm. With a deep breath, you strike the match against the box and a small spark leaps to life, perfectly normal and strong. Ooh. Before you can breathe a sigh of relief, a giant flare bursts out, nearly causing you to drop the match as its unnatural radiance shocks you. I mean, I would have been so scared, to be honest. The flame sputters violently before stabilizing, casting an eerie glow across the dim room. Oh, hello. Tendrils of smoke seep out and curl around the match, quickly making their way down your arm. You stand there, frozen despite the inferno that sits between your fingers. All you can do is watch helplessly as the smoke races down your body and jumps into the hearth in front of you, blowing soot in your face. Finally, you manage to move your body, feeling your legs to buckle beneath you. When the sensation of the cold floor slamming into your knees does not come, you allow yourself to open your eyes. A man stands over you, one holding the matchstick you had thrown, and the other cupping the small of your hand, keeping you suspended mere inches above the hard wood. Blue. Falling for me a bit early this time around, aren't you? Who are you? He grins at you with a playful smile. He's staring at him like an idiot. Why does this look familiar? I kind of want to go for that option. Okay, I've saved. I'm going to do keep staring like an idiot. Why does he look so familiar? Do I know you? Of all the things to say to a man who emerged seemingly out of thin air, somehow this was all that you let slip past your lips. You can't help it. Something about him seems achingly familiar. But no matter how hard you try to remember why exactly that is, all you pull up... Oh, was I supposed to go... All you pull up are blanks. I think you dropped this. He pulls you to your feet and slips the matchstick back into your hand. Feeling is brought back into your fingers as his warm hands brush against yours. Your hands fall limply to your side, still transfixed. However, they snap back up when you feel the less pleasant heat of the match brushing against your leg. Ow! The man flinches in shock before regaining his composure and giving you a soft smile, both hands up as though in surrender. Easy now. We wouldn't want that to fall, would we? He nods his head to the matchstick in your hand. His body language is tense, though he tries to mask it behind a nonchalant shrug as he straightens up and tries to dust himself off. I thought that was a P instead of a D. I was like, what word is that? However, he only seems to make himself look more out of place as his hands fall through himself, semi-transparent. Sensing your gaze, he awkwardly coughs and gives you another sheepish smile. So, about that introduction? Hello. Why do you have brown hair, brown eyes, and a red scarf, and a white shirt, and a mole on your, clavicle, above your collarbone? Okay. Who are you? It's the match reincarnated. I don't know. We'll see. You continue to stare at him, speechless. Your grip on the matchstick tightens as you struggle to make sense of the situation. I'm Claude. You're a ghost. You're a ghost that's come to take me away from this place. I guess you're technically right, but... Cutting Claude off, you begin to ramble, paying him no mind. I'm dead. I'm really dead. It finally happened. Oh my god, I'm dead. Blue? Pulling you from your hysteric spiraling, the man of smoke and flame grips onto your shoulders, the heat of his touch grounding you, if just for a moment. Blue, I know that this is a lot to take in. Honestly, I don't know how anyone could see all of this. He motions to himself and the matchstick, and handle it well, so I get your reaction. But if you give me a chance to explain, I can try to help you make sense of all this. You stare back at him numbly. Regardless of your current thoughts of this Claude figure, hyperventilating and passing out was just going to do more harm than good for you, and so all you can do is permit yourself to nod back weakly. Thanks. His expression and grip on you soften as he takes a step back, allowing you some room to breathe now that your balance is stable. So yes, it's true that I'm a ghost. I've remained here for centuries, shackled to this land and tangled in the loose threads left behind from my past life. He lets out a heavy sigh. His shoulders slump with a sort of unspoken weight, and you finally notice just how tired he looks, despite his ghostly appearance. Oh, but then you lit the match. As you process Claude's words, you glance down at the burning matchstick and back up at the flickering apparition of a man. Realizing that its flame is what brought him forth, your heart races as you contemplate the implications of this newfound knowledge. How the hell did he... From the matchstick? You, Blue. You finally came back and freed me. What do you mean came back, though? Sorry. Came back? Me? You shake your head, still trying to comprehend the situation. Yes, you. You see, we knew each other. Centuries ago. Centuries ago? Okay, tell me the story. I want to know. Claude sees your expression and rushes to continue explaining. I get it. You're confused. Our connection is something from another time. Another life, even. We died and you reincarnated while I stayed behind. Here. I couldn't let you go, and when I thought of the chance to connect with you again, as selfish as it was, I took it. He brushes his fingers against the matchstick's flames, as though in a trance. I don't know how or why this box summoned me, but the moment I saw the opportunity, your face staring back at me through the smoke, I leapt at it. I just wanted to see you again. Your heart aches involuntarily at the look on his face. He sounds insane, but you can't help but feel invested in what he has to say. You clap a cold hand to your cheek, trying to push past the sudden wave of sentimentality that had taken over you. Snap out of it. Well, you saw me. Are we done here? I don't know if you're the wrong person. Okay. Oh, he has like a little bit of red on his pants. His little trouser pants loop there. Anyways, let me save. I don't know. I feel like I should believe him, even though I'm gonna kind of brush this off. I want to kind of go with this option. Well, you saw me. Are we done here? Ta-da! You spread your arms half-heartedly in mock showmanship. This guy was crazy. Everything about this was crazy. So, are we done here? Excuse me? The ghost looks confused. Did he really expect for you to just go along with all of this? Unbelievable. You're excused. You move to blow out the matchstick. Wait! Claude pauses for a moment, seemingly trying to decide on his choice of words. He runs a hand through his hair and groans in frustration. Ugh. Screw it. We were lovers, alright? A few past lives ago for you, and a couple centuries for me. Lovers. Right. I know it's difficult to believe, but it's true. We knew each other then, and our bond was strong. Fate, however, had other plans for us. Yeah, no. None of this seems believable in the slightest. You ponder Claude's words, your fingers unconsciously playing with the edges of the matchbox. You look at the burning matchstick in your hand, its flames continuing to feed into Claude's form. But maybe I should be a little more lenient about what's believable right now. With a deep breath, you slowly nod, your disbelief gradually giving way to curiosity. All right, Claude. I'll play along for now, but just know that I'm not fully convinced yet. Claude smiles gently, appreciating your willing, yet cautious optimism. That's all I ask. A chance to make things right. Yeah, about that. How exactly do you plan on making things right? Let's just say that I, hypothetically, am a reincarnation of your partner. What can I do? I have a life and memories of my own, none of which feature you. Whoever you loved, I'm not them. Not in any way that matters, at least. Claude looks down, his smile a bit more bittersweet at your words. Trust me, Blue, I know that. I spent centuries fearing this exact situation. However, I didn't just appear to make you play along with some nostalgic delusion. I think our suffering is linked. And if we work together, we can both be freed from this cycle. What are you talking about? Blue, death and reincarnation aren't the only things that have separated us. And even now I can see that something weighs heavily upon your spirit. Even if you're not the same incarnation of the person I fell in love with, something about them haunts you. And if I'm correct, the same misfortunes have plagued your previous lives as well. Tell me, why did you come back here? To this cabin specifically? Is a good question, and is a question that I have asked earlier. Well, it's a family cabin. I'm the only one left to take care of it. You nervously fiddle with the hem of your sleeve and avoid making eye contact. Were you really willing to tell this ghost that you were dying? You weren't sure. Yes, but why come here? You arrived here recently, out of the blue and seemingly running on instincts alone. I know a person who's running from something when I see one. I mean, I feel we should tell him. You swallow hard, doing your best to push down the nerves that had bubbled up inside of you. You had thought that you were past this, that you'd come to terms with what little time you likely had left. I mean, it's better to tell him, because we need to figure out what exactly is happening. So, we'll see if that helps. You were wrong. After all, how could someone ever accept that they were dying? You look to Claude, desperately trying to find any way past the subject, but for once he appears steadfast in his decision. He wasn't going to back down. Not here. I got sick. The doctors, they said I didn't have much time left. I couldn't face them, my friends, what little family I had left. I didn't want them to feel like they had to just stand around and watch me die. Cloud wipes a stray tear from your eye, one that you had not realized had escaped. His warm touch dries away the trail it left. And so you left, and you came here of all places. It was the first place I could think of. He pauses. I'm sorry, Blue. I really am. He softened up again, but you can't find it in yourself to talk about this anymore. You shake your head, motioning for him to move on. Continue like nothing happened. He hesitates and nods his head. Exactly. I'm not the only one with unfinished business. I think I can help you. I can help free you of this burden, if you can help me do the same. And I believe the key to that is recovering your memories, although it won't be easy. You nod your head, dumbfounded. Like it or not, it wasn't like you had anything better to do than sit around and wait to die. If there was even a minute possibility that you could change things, to ease the pain you had never asked for, you take it. Claude nods back, and his expression morphs into one of resolve. Now, we don't have much time. I can only stay for as long as these matchsticks burn. Once they run out, so does our time together. You glance at the matchbox in your hand, feeling its weight. It's surprisingly light. Your eyes widen with alarm, the urgency of the situation sinking in. 8 matches? That's all we have? How am I supposed to make sense of all of this in such a short amount of time? We'll just have to be strategic about how we use them. With each match, I'll try to guide you through the events of our past, so that the memories may return to you. Once they do, well, I think by that point you'll understand what needs to be done. You hesitate, gripping the matchbox tightly. And if I still don't remember after all matches are gone? Then, at least we'll have tried. I have faith in you, Blue. He looks back at you, noticing your grip on the matchbox, and his face softens once again. I understand how this all seems outlandish, but I wouldn't lie to you about something like this. You must know deep down that there is truth to what I'm saying. Your eyes meet Cloud's, searching for any hint of deception. There's a growing pang in your heart, as though it is reaching towards him. The sensation fades just as quickly as it appears, though, and you are left with a hollow ache in its place. How can I trust someone I don't even remember? Memory is a complex thing, often buried beneath layers of time and experience. You just don't remember me yet. You gaze into the flickering fire, your thoughts whirling with uncertainty. Can I really trust a man who claims to know me better than I know myself? I don't know if he claims that, but I guess that's your interpretation. What if it's all just one big, elaborate dream? And yet, there's something inside me that feels a strange sense of comfort with him. I want to trust him. You clench your fists, feeling torn between skepticism and hope. Hope? You blink. Hope was something you hadn't let yourself feel in a long, long time. And yet, with a deep breath, you try to quell your doubts and focus on the task at hand. All right, I'll trust you, Cloud. Let's unravel the mystery together, before our time runs out. Not like it hasn't already for me. Claude smiles softly, sensing your resolve. That's the spirit. As your fears begin to subside, you take another deep breath and prepare to face whatever challenges lie ahead. You gaze out the cabin window, the cold and barren landscape reflecting your uncertainty. But maybe that, too, would fade away to something brighter. You turn back to Claude, an inkling of nervous hope flickering within your eyes. What if? What if we start with something small? Anything, really. He looks at you hopefully. I'm sorry. I really don't remember anything. You rub your temple as if trying to coax the memories to the surface. It's all right, Blue. Memory can be a fickle thing. Perhaps my memories can jog yours, but where to begin? You bite your lip before a thought comes to mind. How about a story from our past? Simple and sweet. Claude nods thoughtfully, his eyes lighting up with anticipation. That's a wonderful idea. Let's see. I remember a time when we were strolling through an apple orchard in late summer. As Claude begins to chair his tail, you listen intently, trying to picture the scene in your mind's eye. The scent of ripe apples, the warmth of the sun in your skin, the laughter filling the air. You desperately seek any fragment of memory that might connect you to this shared history. With each word that falls from his lips, you are drawn in deeper. Missing puzzle pieces of yourself that in the back of your mind you had felt were always missing begin to find their place again. For once in your life, in this life, you felt almost whole. I think I can see it. That's it. Keep focusing. Remember the love we shared, and let it guide you. Okay, let's take it a little slower than that. Right. Sorry. So, as you were saying? Yes. Where did I leave off? We were. You remember? Suddenly, the cabin seems to hold its breath as Claude's figure flickers and fades. His eyes, once vibrant and full of life, now hold a touch of fear that mirrors your own. Wait, Claude! What's happening? Claude's voice comes out strained as if struggling against an unseen force. I don't know. Wait. The match. As Claude continues to disappear, you feel a growing trepidation in the pit of your stomach. You finally look at the matchstick at hand and realize how weak the flame has grown. And seconds before it would go out, assuming that one of the cabin's stray drafts wouldn't kill it first. Panicking, you rush over to the matchstick box you had left on the drawer. Digging your hand into the matchstick box, you pull one out, holding onto it like a lifeline. Maybe this will help. Curiosity and doubt war within you. This match could bring forth memories and long-forgotten emotions. But which ones? Claude depended on the match's flames to appear. At least that's what he told you. If he was right, then that would mean you could end this at any time. Turn your back on these supernatural conspiracies and die in relative peace. But you didn't want that, did you? You stare at the matchstick, pondering the consequences of lighting it. If I light this match, will it bring you back, Claude? Will it show me your past? You looked up, desperately seeking reassurance from Claude's fading form. I could be wrong, but it's worth a try. If it doesn't, though, then, Blue, He's faded. He gives you one final smile, but before he can finish his confession, he too is snuffed out, just like the flame of the matchstick you hold. The smoke is carried away by a stray breeze passing through the cabin walls, the last remnants of the ghost who had looked down at you so warmly. The dead match slips from your hand, tumbling down to the floor below. And with that, Claude is gone. You take one step back, then another. On the third, you bump into the chair behind you and fall into it. This was a lot to take in. One part of you still feels like you were dreaming, or at the very least hallucinating the whole thing. A handsome guy comes out of a match claiming that we were lovers in a past life. Yeah, that's way too good to be true. I'm such an idiot. You laugh at yourself and at how ridiculous you must look right now. Your eyes land on the matchbox. 8 matchsticks, 8 chances. There was only one way to find out if you were losing it or not, and it was sitting 5 feet away from you. I'll come back to you in the morning. Promise. It was getting late. If Claude really was real, you preferred not to be half asleep when you talked with him. Time was precious, after all. With that, you do your best to resume your interrupted routine, grabbing a small bite to eat before turning in for the night. Sleep never came easy to you, but you know that you'll definitely need it tomorrow, regardless of the outcome. Oh, this is a cute little bedroom. Eventually, after a good couple of hours tossing and turning from nerves, you fall into an uneasy sleep, dreaming of sunny apple orchards and a boy whose fantastical stories keep you glued to your picnic blanket. Okay, so that's good, you're remembering things. You don't remember the last time you had such a nice dream. When the sun rises, so do you. Despite how surprisingly pleasant your sleep was, the nerves eating at you were stronger, and so you found yourself begrudgingly rolling out of bed. You fall back into your routine, although a bit more aware of your surroundings, as each chore and task is livened by the thought of seeing the man in the matchstick again. You unpack, eat, and clean until you finally decide that it's time. And let me check how much time I've got. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one right here, just before the reappearance of Cloud. I keep saying Cloud or Claude. I've noticed that because I'm like, I can't decide what I want to say, or how to pronounce the name, but that's okay. Anyways, this is very, very interesting, and I'm really intrigued about how the story will continue exactly. I'm really sure we will use up all of our 8 chances to figure out what's happening. But yeah, I hope you're also enjoying the story so far. I really like the visual novel. I like the art, I like the music, I like the writing, I like the user interface. All of it's very nice and easy to interact with, so that's great. But I will leave that for today, and if you like the video so far, please be sure to like it, as well as subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more parts of this playthrough, which I will be posting pretty regularly this month, so I'm sure we'll be able to finish it in a matter of time. Is that the right saying? I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!